Mic check 1, 2. Echoey. Mic check 1, 2. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Live here in Chicago, Illinois. How's it going, everyone? Welcome. Trying to find a place to put these headphones. It should be okay over there. How's everyone doing today? It's a nice day today here in Chicago. Nice and sunny, low 70s. I wish it was a little warmer, but I'll take it for what it is. My hair is a little messy. I just came back from the dentist, so my hair is a little messy. Should be okay. Before I begin, Maggie, May, Jordan, Lynn, Aisha, BMJ, Margaret, Cap Rising, Aisha. Oh, I already said Aisha. Netta G, Sheila, hello. Welcome. Thanks for being here today. Today is another day of accountability. Today is another day of moving forward on my journey. Is this another day for you? Is this another day of accountability for you? If so, share with us. Let us know how you're doing in the chat. Josh, Toya, I see you there as well. Welcome. Nice to have you. Welcome. So, Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, day 674 of my fasting journey. 1 year, 10 months plus into my fasting journey. It's been a long road, but a very successful road in not only losing the weight, but keeping the weight off. Randall, for the good, I see you there as well. Hello. Also, Josh, I see you there sharing as well. This is what I'm talking about. If you're in here in chat, this is a place to show accountability. This is a place to show the good and the bad. As I am 674 days into my journey, it's been 674 days of a mix of good and bad days, but the majority of it on the good side, the majority of it being accountable, being transparent, being aware of my actions, instead of pretending that the day didn't happen or that you had a bad fasting day and you overate or you did worse. There's no more hiding it. There's no more keeping it a secret. Spike, I see you there. Hi, Spike. Welcome. 674 days in my journey it's been mind-opening for me, because in the last year and 10 months or coming up to 2 years, it took me a long time to realize that I can't just have all-out perfect days. There will be days like that. I'll have some good runs. You've all seen those good runs when I lost 80 pounds in less than 5 months. But those runs, even losing that weight in that short amount of time, that was still a combination of super long fasts and eating very big refeeds, 5, 6, 7,000 calorie refeeds, refeed after refeed after refeed. As my journeys continued, as I got into day 200, day 400, day 600, a lot of that has changed. The length of my fasting, the way I eat, the way I exercise. What I'm trying to say is you can be good at fasting, but eventually you're going to have to learn how to fast for shorter amounts. You're going to have to learn how to eat better. You're going to have to learn how to incorporate exercise, getting better sleep, improving your mental health. This morning I went to the dentist, and I go to the dentist every 6-7 months. Although when I was scheduling my next dentist appointment, I was like, I'm not sure when I'm going to be getting my next cleaning, because if you're unaware, I'm moving out of the country. So maybe I'll be getting my next dental appointment in the Philippines, but we'll see. And here's the thing about going to the dentist. I used to be deathly afraid of going to the dentist. Why? Because when I was morbidly obese and I would have to go to the dentist, they'd either find cavities, they would there were dentists I've been to where they found out I was on high blood pressure medicine and they'd have to check my blood pressure and that would become a thing. My gums would bleed. I just felt overall embarrassed to go. That's how it used to be for me. Now I don't even think about it. I go to get my cleaning, make sure everything is good. And it was really interesting. So I went there today. The dental hygienist cleaned my teeth. The dentist came to do an overall check. And he was like, teeth look good, gums look healthy. How often do you floss? And the first thing I thought of was, I floss like 80% of the time, which I do. I think I probably floss more than that. My gums don't bleed anymore. My teeth are really healthy. And that's what the dentist said to me. He's like, it shows because everything looks good. No issues. You haven't had issues in the last almost 2 years you've been here. To me, that's such a huge win. To me, I look at that as a non-scale victory. Having gums that would bleed all the time, having cavities, just having really bad dental health, because that was piled on to my type 2 diabetes. That was piled on to not taking care of myself. Being at the place I'm at now, not having to worry about something like that, going to the dentist, going to the doctor, those are such huge non-scale victories that maybe some of you don't even think about. Some of you might be here thinking about just losing weight on the scale, which is fine. I get that. Some of you might be listening to me right now and be like, well, I don't really care about that. That's fine. But your dental health, your physical health, your mental health, it all comes together. Your health should be number one in all facets, right? Not just what the scale says. It's a very hard thing to really assess when this chair is the squeakiest chair in the world. It's really hard to assess when sometimes we get so focused on one specific thing. I'm here to share those non-scale victories and remind you of the other things that might be hampering you from doing specific things. Here's the thing, right? So for some people might be deathly afraid to go to the doctor because they're afraid of what the doctor might have to say. Other people don't want to listen to what the doctor has to say. I get that. But I'm also there to make sure that when I get my blood work done, everything looks okay. Nothing is off the radar. It's time to start prioritizing your health. It really is. We can talk about weight loss all day and getting that scale to move down. And I totally get that. And I'm here for it. But there are so many other things that are equally as important. So as I do these daily live streams, as I talk about where I'm at and showing accountability, because I've had some good days and some bad days, what I've learned about myself, especially during those bad days, especially on the days that I struggle, those are moments for me to learn about myself. Many of us, when we're having bad days, when we're struggling, we don't want to be here. We don't want to show up. We hide, we keep things a secret, we pretend that the day didn't happen. And that was equally apparent for me more recently, about a month ago, when I gained about 30 pounds in 5 weeks. A combination of going on vacation and eating back-to-back days and mindless eating, right? And getting into a place where old habits came back, it really bit me. And that's where these daily live streams became really important. The one thing I've realized as well is that accountability counts for so much. If you are somebody who is used to hiding, if you are somebody who's used to keeping things a secret, and when I talk about keeping things a secret, I'm talking about maybe eating an extra meal when no one's around, eating in your car secretly, when you are eating a snack in your office, locking the door, making sure nobody sees or nobody knows. That's what I'm talking about. It's those kind of behaviors that maybe you're not even thinking about, but you do it because you're comforting, you're stress eating, or you're performing that all or nothing behavior where you were supposed to do really well today. And then you said, I can't fast this long. I can't eat this. I can't eat this healthy. And then you end up doing something on the complete opposite end. It's that behavior that needs to stop. It's that behavior that hopefully you can start changing as you realize that with what I'm doing, imperfect consistency, I have good days, I have bad days, but for the most part, the good days outweigh the bad. But there is no more hiding, right? There's no more shame. There's no more guilt. There's no more embarrassment. I just showed more recently where I I ate, what was it, 5,300 calories recently. And I overate. I ate more than I thought I would, but no shame, no guilt, no embarrassment. I don't want to hide that anymore. I don't want to keep things a secret. This is the way I currently eat. It's changing over time. I'm trying really hard to eat cleaner, to limit calories where I need to. But at the same time, I know that there are going to be some days where I overeat, and that's fine. At the end of the day, when I go to my doctor and my blood work is good and I go to the dentist and I have no issues and I feel good and I'm energetic, I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to complain about. Instead, they are growing moments for me when I continue to push on my journey. And how have I done that? Through fasting. Obviously, fasting is my foundation. Fasting is pretty much the core of how I have been able to keep the weight off. For me, fasting in this way, fasting in prolonged fasts, shorter fasts, using this as my tool, it's really provided me a way out. Not everyone needs to fast for as long as I do, or have, or did, or continue to do. I use fasting as a really effective tool. But for somebody that has better control when you eat, for somebody that has better control during your refeed times, you don't have to use fasting as the only protocol to lose weight. Eventually, think about your weight loss levers: fasting, your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your mental health. Eventually, all of these levers you are going to have to apply. You're going to have to be good at. It doesn't mean you have to be good at them all the time, 100%, all day, every day. What it means is you use these tools to the best of your ability. And some days, some of those weight loss levers aren't going to be the best. But if you have the other pieces in place, you're going to find success. As I have been on this road back to 130 pounds, as I have been back on this road to get down to a lower body weight, losing excess body fat, adding muscle, I have been doing rounds of fasting, rounds of ADF. Some days I'm eating in excess. Some days I'm fasting longer, putting a 90-hour fast in. Some days, 60-hour fasts. Some days, Like most recently, I went on vacation for a week. But what is the overall arching story in this slide? The fact that I've done some rounds of ADF, some days where I eat 6,000, 7,000 calories, some days when I go on vacation. Overall, I've continued to lose weight. This is imperfect consistency to a T. This is showing you right now that not every day has to go hard. It can if you want to. But this slide is an example of here's Jerome pushing hard. Here's Jerome having a day off, maybe eating 5,000, 6,000 calories. Here's Jerome on vacation. Not every day has to go hard. There are going to be days where you should be giving yourself grace. You should be giving yourself mental relief. The only thing that I ask is that you don't go on the deep end when it comes to the nothing part, right? When I talk about the all or nothing mentality, it's that nothing side that you need to drop. It's the giving up completely. It's the, you know what? I'm not going to go to this doctor appointment, and I'm not going to go for my walk, and I'm just going to eat whatever I want. And what's the point of going to the gym? What's the point of sleeping at a good bedtime? Because you know what? I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start next month. I'm going to start after this vacation ends. It's that kind of thinking. It's that kind of mentality that is keeping you in the same place, or it's digging you deeper. How do I know this? Because that's been me for the longest time. I was that person waiting until Monday, waiting until tomorrow. I would be in a position, let's say today, for example, right? Where for me, if in my head, I was like, well, I don't want to fast anymore. I just want to eat. I would give everything up. I would say, well, I'm just going to put everything on the credit card. I'm just going to order DoorDash. You know what? I'm not going to work today. I'm going to just order this food, lay on this couch, spend a bunch of money, not reply to anyone, and destroy myself physically. And pretend and ignore and avoid everything in life. Is that you? Do you relate to that? Does that resonate with you? If it does, this is a time to start changing those habits. It doesn't mean that tomorrow it changes in an instant. What it means is that you start taking steps to be more accountable. You start taking steps to be more aware of your actions and what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? It takes time. We can't just 180 these things, especially if you're somebody like me that's been thinking this way for decades upon decades. It took me 40 years to get over this. It doesn't change in an instant. Tanya asks, do you drink water while you're fasting? Yes, I do. Or I'll drink an iced coffee, black, or I'll drink a Diet Coke. Usually lately, it's more like a Coke Zero every now and then, or an unsweetened iced tea. I have a video about what I drink. If you're ever interested in that, I would just go look for that. So as I throw this nerdy slide back up here, if you look at the very bottom here, ever since I got back into a fasting protocol after putting on 30-ish pounds, I have been on an average fast of about 2 days, 48 hours and 14 minutes. Putting myself on an average fast of about 2 days has got me to lose 30 pounds in about 30 days. Also, the same amount of weight that I pushed up. But look, if you look in the last 673 days of my journey, today is day 674. In 673 days, I have been on an average fast of 49 hours and 17 minutes. Now, it doesn't mean that in 673 days, I have just been doing constant 49-hour fasts. In the last 673 days, there have been a combination of long fasts, short fasts, eating back-to-back days, some days where I'm overeating and I'm having a 12-hour eating window, and maybe even a 12-hour fasting window instead, a very short fast. But overall, in general, right, my average fasting time has been about 2 days for almost the last 2 years. So if anybody tells you that you can't do this long term, that it's impossible, that there's no way that you're going to keep the weight off, or that your blood markers won't be good, or that you won't have energy, or that I'm that shining example that it can work. You can make it work. You don't have to do exactly what I do, but you can use fasting as a tool. You can use eating better as a tool. You can use exercise as a tool and use it to the best of your ability to take all of these tools and create a journey, create a system, create a way of not only losing the weight, but keeping the weight off. You can find success through this. Fasting is just a tool. Don't look at it as the only thing that you should be doing. When people tell me that they're going to do an extended fast and they find themselves just laying on the couch all day long, listen, you do what you want to do, but I can't imagine doing that for the rest of my life every time I'm fasting. That's why you see me right now, right? If I can get this app open, that's why, where the hell is this app? That's why you see me right now doing this live stream. Earlier this morning, going for a walk, taking care of work, 38 hours fasted with 0 issues. I've been able to put myself in a place where I can fast and feel good. I can fast and I can exercise. I can fast and go to work. I can fast and live my life. If you are struggling through your fasts, maybe what you need to be doing right now is putting yourself in a place where you are building your fasting muscle, where if it's time to break early, break early. Learn how to refeed better. Learn how to eat better. And then push another fast. There's no shame in that. There's no shame if you didn't get to the long fast you thought you were supposed to get to. There's no shame in that. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel guilty. And the same goes with the way you eat. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel guilty. Instead, be aware of what you're doing. If you overate, you overate. If you ate things that you weren't supposed to eat, you ate things you weren't supposed to eat. Be mindful of it. Ask yourself, why did I put myself in this position? What got me here? How can I change this? How can I fix this? If you looked at my last refeed, I was trying to keep my calories under 4,000, ideally under 3,000. I ended up eating 5,300 calories. But I went through my mindset of why I did what I did. Sometimes I don't have the answers either. And that's the thing too. You might not have all the answers of why you do what you do, why you keep saying, I'm going to start on Monday, why you keep saying, well, let me just wait till the weekend ends. When you say, I don't know why I ate this way, or Jerome, I used to fast for this long and I can't do it anymore. You might not have the answers right away, but it's a lot better than throwing everything away completely, right? It's a lot better than just saying, well, this day never happened. Hey, I'm not even going to think about the day. What's the point? It's already gone to shit. It's that kind of thinking that you need to get yourself out of. Adrian, hi Adrian, asks, Could you also address your emotional and mental journey over the years? As I think this is also a crucial aspect to losing weight. It's absolutely a crucial aspect to losing weight. So here's the thing, right? The emotional and mental journey for me, when I was, I mean, even as I'm currently fasting, right? Fasting is not for everyone, or at least fasting in prolonged periods of time is not for everyone. There are some people who can get through a fast and it feels like nothing to them. There are other people who can barely get past 18 hours and start to struggle. I'm not saying one person is better than the other, but for some of us, for a number of us, right? Fasting for an extended period of time is a very all or nothing type of activity. Let's be real. Fasting, having 0 calories, it's a very extreme way to lose weight. And sometimes it takes a mental toll, especially if someone's done something like me where I was doing rolling 90s for 5 months. My mental space then, I was just very determined. There was nothing that was going to stop me. But a big reason that I feel like I was so successful doing it was because I had a lot of eyes on me, because I had something to prove, I had something to show. It was really important for me at that time. For other people, when you start fasting in this way, when you have no eyes on you, when there's no accountability, right? When you know that you have no one to show up for but yourself. I'm not saying that you shouldn't show up for yourself, because that's super important. If anything, you should be doing it for yourself, right? Do it for your loved ones, do it for your health. That's the number one reason you should be doing it. But for many of us, that's not enough. For me, that's not enough. When my dad passed away, and my dad had a heart attack, my dad had a stroke, my dad was a type 2 diabetic. The last few years of my dad's life, he had Parkinson's. It was awful. And even after he passed away, that wasn't enough for me to change my habits. It wasn't. It took something like this to be accountable. And that's why I'm saying everyone's journey is different. Someone's motivation is different than someone else's. And that's why and actually, I think someone had a comment on that, because they were talking about how I talk about how individual everyone's journey is. And somebody had posted a comment about how there really is no one size fits all to weight loss. And that's why you'll hear me promote all the time that you have to find what your journey looks like. Don't imitate me. You can if you think it might be helpful, but I'm sure over time you're going to realize, oh, I can't eat this way. Oh, I can't always fast this way. Oh, I can't walk these many steps every day. You have to find what works for you. When you ask this question, Adrian, about the emotional and mental journey, the one thing that I've taught myself over the last couple of years now, where I'm at, and I said it earlier, is really prioritizing my health. I start to ask myself, what's more important than my health? What's more important than that? And this is where sometimes I'll get pushback from other people. Well, Jerome, my husband, my wife, my partner. Well, Jerome, my kids. Well, Jerome, my job. Sure, some of those things are important. I'm sure a lot of those things are important, but is it the number one? And you might push back on that and be like, yeah, that is my number one. My children are my number one. Sure, I get that. But what can you do for your children if you lose your health? What happens after that? And you might not think about that now. I think a lot of people don't think about that. But the moment you have a heart attack, a stroke, God forbid, anything like that, something that could have been preventable. And I'm not sitting here saying that maybe one day that might happen to me. I don't know, right? But all I know is what I'm doing for myself right now at this moment is a lot better than where it was 675 days ago, when I was laying on the couch, binge eating, spending whatever on my credit card, maxing my credit cards out, living in filth, just throwing my life away. That's one of the reasons I'm able to keep pushing every single day. Miss Star asks, when does it get easier? So, Miss Star, when you ask this question, are you talking about the fasting length? When does the fasting get easier? If that's what you're asking, I'm going to layer this question, right? It gets easier the more you realize that you're doing this for the long run. If you're aiming for, let's say, a 72-hour fast, and maybe right now you're having difficulties just getting past 18, what it means for you right now is 18 hours is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 18. I'm going to feel good about it. And after I break 18 hours, I'm going to eat and control the way I eat. That might not be what you want to do. You might be watching this right now and you're like, Jerome, I don't know. I don't want to do 18. I want to do 80. I want to go to the gym and bench press 450, but I know I can't do that. That's going to take time. It's going to take time to build muscle. It's going to take time to work on your fasting muscle. So even if you talk about, let's say, 18 hours, if you can do 18 hours, you can do 18 hours and 15 minutes. If you can do 18 hours and 15 minutes, you can do 18 hours and 30 minutes. You can do 20 hours. And it also doesn't mean that every single fast after that has to be as long. That is a big mistake that I see with a lot of people. They think that every fast afterwards has to be exactly the same or progressively more difficult. Just because you do let's say, a 65-hour fast doesn't mean the next one has to be 65 and then 65 and then 65 and then 90 and then 128, right? What it means is if you get a 65-hour fast underneath you, that's amazing. That's wonderful. But maybe you're not ready to do another 65. Maybe what it means is now it's time to do shorter fasts and eat better, right? It's time to work on your other levers of weight loss. Miss Star says here, baby steps and stay consistent, not perfect. That's brilliant. And that's exactly what I talk about when I talk about imperfect consistency. Your journey doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. As I'm sitting here right now on day 674 of my journey, right? As I have been doing this now for almost 2 years, the one thing that I have realized is your journey is not going to be perfect. My journey is not going to be perfect. But the things that you get to learn along your journey, that is the valuable shit. When you go on vacation and you don't throw away that vacation and be like, I'm not going to worry about this week. But instead, you're hitting a timer. Instead, you're being mindful about what you're eating. I'm not saying that you can't eat and drink and enjoy yourself. You should. I do. If you don't know what that looks like, just watch my past live streams where I was just recently in Toronto and I was celebrating my aunt's birthday. Or later on, I ended up eating 7,000 plus calories. I enjoy myself. But those are learning moments for me, just like any of you who are in here right now. Sometimes people are like, Jerome, I don't know what to do when I go on vacation. I don't know what to do about this wedding I have to go to. And in my head, I'm like, why don't you go enjoy it? Just don't throw away the day. Just show up. And for a lot of us, the action that actually is more important, it's not going to the wedding. It's not going on vacation. The action that's really more important is what happens afterwards, right? Like, what do you do after? Can you get your act together afterwards? I know how it is going to a wedding. Usually when I go to a wedding, I'm probably drunk by the end of the night. I'm probably eating tacos at like 3 a.m. in a tux. How do I know that? Because that's been me. But at the same time, if after a wedding or after a party or after a vacation, you let that behavior continue day after day, week after week, whose fault is that? Those are bad habits. Many of us say, you know what? I'm going on vacation. I'm not going to worry about it. That's fine. You don't want to worry about it. That's fine. That's on you, right? but you're already building bad habits that you have probably built for a long time. And if this is the way that you act every single time, it might be time to change the way you act. It doesn't change overnight. It really doesn't. It takes time to learn from how you act, how your habits are laid out on a day-to-day basis. I have been a big proponent lately of good, healthy habits. There is nothing like having good, healthy habits. There is nothing like taking small steps to change your habitual day to day. You might be asking yourself, well, what do you mean? Perfect example. I'll give you an example of how a day to day used to be for me. I'd wake up in the morning, maybe in the late morning, because I slept like shit the night before, because I was either overeating or binging. I'd get up, I'd be in bed, I'd doom scroll on my phone. I'd be on my phone for, who knows, an hour plus. By the time I'd roll out of bed, I'd probably be getting a coffee full of cream and sugar and ordering a breakfast sandwich or 2 or 3. I'd eat that. I'd maybe consider doing some work if I was even working at the time. Or if I was working, I would wait until the last minute to get ready, go to work, eat there, not take care of my shit. After work, what do? Eat, lay on the couch, watch TV, order DoorDash, and be like, you know what? I'll just binge this last time and I'll never do it again. I'll start tomorrow. That's how a day-to-day would be for me. You could probably name all the bad habits that come off of that. There are a lot of bad habits in that. And that's not even a full day, right? I'm not even talking about every single thing that I do in that day. This is an example for all of you. Think about what your day-to-day looks like, everything that you do. Do you know what my day looks like now? I'll give you a perfect example of today. I woke up today. I went to the bathroom. I stepped on the scale. After I stepped on the scale, I put it away because I only weigh once a day. I got my shoes on, my socks on. I went for a walk. I went for a long walk by the lake, enjoyed my time, did my language learning, came back, took a shower, hopped on the train, went to the dentist. After the dentist, I used my kick scooter, which is back there, and I kick scooted to work, to the office. That's been my morning. Coaching, doing this live stream, that's a lot different than how my life used to be. Why? It's out of habit. When I wake up in the morning, I don't even think about if I should go for a walk. It's already embedded in me. It's already embedded. It's become so routine that it's just a part of my daily routine, my daily habitual thing that I do. I don't question it. Yesterday, when I was fasted, when I didn't eat anything all day, those are non-negotiable days. That's a Jerome, get your shit done. It's a Jerome, get your shit done day, right? Those are what my fasting days look like. My fasting days, I don't think about food. There's no food noise. I just tell myself today is not an eating day. That's exactly what I do too after a vacation. After eating 5, 6, 7,000 calories, I finish eating and I'm like, tomorrow's a fasting day. If I want to eat the day after, then maybe I can think about it. But I know that I put so many calories in me the day before that I don't have to eat back-to-back days. That is where my mindset is. That is what I believe wholeheartedly, that if I eat that much one specific day, I don't have to eat again the next day. I understand how difficult that can be because sometimes you can eat a lot the day before and then the next day the hunger is through the roof. But my mental is so strong at that point. I had this conversation yesterday and Listen, as much as I hate to say it, fasting is easy for me. It's like nothing for me. The reason that I've been able to average a 2-day fast for the last almost 2 years is because it's easy for me. I can put a 90 down, no problem, a 65 down, no problem. That is easy for me. I'm good when it comes to fasting. The diet part is the hard part. Some of you might be in here right now and you're like, diet part's easy. I just want to fast for longer. Well, this is why I say everyone's journey is different. Everyone has a different approach. You have to think about what your strengths and your weaknesses are when it comes to your weight loss levers. Apply your strengths, use them to the best of your ability. But the things that you're not the best at, like me, my diet. I couldn't even eat vegetables until I was in my 40s. Now I eat them all the time. Now I cook my own meals. Now I can limit my calories. That didn't change overnight. That took time. But the reason that I'm in this place today is because I show up every single day, right? I don't just throw away the day. I am accountable in what I do. If we dig into my refeed stats, in my last 21 refeeds, my average refeed time is around 5.5 hours. My calories per refeed, close to 4,000. Average protein per refeed, over 200. The thing is, right? I don't want to be refeeding at 4,000 calories on average. That number has to drop. But I show this because I think it's really important to be transparent about where I'm currently at and how things have been. I know it's something that I need to continue to work on. I just told you all that the diet part is the hardest part for me because when it comes to volume, I can do volume easily. That's the hard part for me. But there's no shame. There's no embarrassment. There's no guilt in what I'm doing. My last 10 refeeds from August 17th to September 7th, everything that's highlighted is over my calorie limit. Again, it's not what I want, but I was also just on vacation. There were days I was going out and enjoying time with friends and family. But the bigger story here is despite all of those excess calories, I have continued to drop weight over time. And I'm pretty much now in a place where I really want to put my head down and start working on my calorie intake to really start getting into now the 130s and losing the rest of this excess fat, building muscle, and being in the best shape that I can. This is a list of what my last 10 refeed and fasted weights have been. If you see what's highlighted in red, you'll see me push up weight 5, 6, 7, maybe even more pounds after a refeed. As I say this on a daily basis, I didn't gain 5, 6, 7 pounds of fat. I hope many of you who are in here realize that when you step on a scale and you see it push up 2, 3, 4 pounds, you didn't put on 2, 3, 4 pounds of fat unless you're literally eating 7, 10,000 calories. And even then, that weight would push up even higher because you would be holding onto a lot of water weight, which is exactly what this shows here. If you look at the very last red highlight at the bottom there, I put on 7 pounds after my last refeed, after eating 5,300 calories. And then that was on the 8th of September. That was yesterday. Yesterday on the 8th of September, I was 149.4. And then look at what it showed this morning on 9/9, 143.4. That's a 6-pound drop in about a 20-hour time frame. Did I lose 6 pounds of fat? No. That's water weight. There's waste, right? If I were to push another day of fasting, I would get that number even lower. And that's typically what I would do to get myself to lose the weight. That's what I initially did doing 4-day fasts. Even eating 4, 5, 6,000 calorie refeeds, I would still lose the weight doing a 4-day fast. Why? Because I was fasting for long enough that it would outnumber my calorie intake. Fasting for 4 days for me with the activity that I'm currently doing, that would be about 9,200 calories in a 4-day fast. 9,200 calories. I would have to eat in excess of 9,200 calories to gain weight. And I know for me, when it comes to satiety, usually the upper limit of that lately is somewhere around 6,000 to 7,000 calories. So that's why sometimes you'll see me push a 90 to offset days like that. Now, does that mean that you should be doing that? No. Maybe you don't eat that many calories. Most people don't. I feel like I'm in a different category when it comes to that. But for you, let's say 3,000 calories is what you eat sometimes. Maybe what that means then, right, is you're doing an alternate day fast for the day. You might be saying, well, ADFs are hard. I can't do them. I can't get there yet. That's okay. Maybe what it means then is it's time to continue cleaning up the diet, working on that part. Doesn't mean that you can't push for a long fast when it's time. This is why you'll hear me talk about imperfect consistency and building your fasting muscle. Eventually you'll get there. Eventually you'll be in this place where I'm like, oh, this feels good right now. I remember when I couldn't fast for this long, and now it's like nothing to me. I know you can get there. I've worked with so many people who have gotten to that point where it's like, yeah, I remember when I couldn't do this, and now it just feels like a normal day. It's more than just fasting. It's a combination of everything. And as you see here, in the last 48 days, ever since I put on 30 and now have lost it, my daily step average is still over 16,000. And look at yesterday's step count, right? Not even 13,000, close to it, but not quite. Am I beating myself up for not hitting my step goal of 15,000 steps? No. Yesterday was just a lower step count. Actually, this entire week, this last week, my steps haven't been up to 15,000. I've just been busy with taking care of other work stuff. And I also know I don't have to do 15,000 steps every single day. I've been doing a lot of kick scooting, so I think that's taking away from my steps. But I feel like I'm still being active in a different way. And for me, I'll take it. I'll take it. 80-20. Today, when my dentist asked me, how often do you floss? I said about 80% of the time. And right away, he's like, oh, that's good. He's like, most people don't even get to that, which I know for me, it's probably more like 90. I probably floss 6 out of 7 days of the week. But you'll hear me talk about 80-20. And 80-20 is a practice that I do where 80% of the time I am a lot more strict with the way I eat or my fasting or my exercise. The other 20% of the time, I'm overeating. I'm not counting calories as structured or as rigid. Maybe I'm not walking for the day. But that 20% of the time is 20% of the time. In a 30-day month, that's 6 days out of the month. It's the 80-20 rule that I have been following now for a while. Since July 23rd, this 80-20 rule, in the last 48 days, I have had 41 80% days where the calorie count is under 3,000. And my 20% days, it's been 7 of the last 48. So this isn't even an 80-20 split. This is currently an 85-15 split. But look at those 20% days. Look at the calorie average. 5,900 calories. But that's just 7 days out of the last 48. What I want you to get out of this is the good days outweigh the bad. And how do I know that? Because those good days have made sure that my weight stays down, that my clothes fit properly, that I feel good, that I have energy. This is imperfect consistency. Let your good days outweigh the bad. Not every day is going to be perfect, and there's nothing wrong with that. I took these screenshots just to show a little more nerd stats here, but this is just off of my phone. But here is what my weight looks like in a graph over the last 7 days. It's not much of a big change here. You'll see it come down as low as around 142 and as high as 150. So like an 8-pound difference over the last week, up and down and up and down. After a refeed, after a fast, after a refeed, after a fast. But not a big change there. In the last 30 days, you'll see an even bigger range. You'll see the trend go down over the last 30 days because that is when I was getting back into my groove, especially after pushing up weight after I had that episode of overeating and comfort eating and stress eating. Because when I talk about moving out of the country and feeling overwhelmed, old habits came into play. But you'll see, as I got back into my routine, the weight pushed itself down. And then you'll see a small jump there towards the end because I went on vacation. But then again, the progress moving itself down. But let's take an even bigger look at that. Here are the last 90 days. An even bigger gap from as low as 140 to as high as almost 170. And that 170 was during that time when I did feel overwhelmed, when I ended up binging, right? These are learning moments. These are growth moments for me. These are growth moments for you. At the end of the day, I didn't gain all the weight back, obviously, but I was able to nip it and get myself back in control. In the last year, that gap is about the same over the last 90 days. Around 140 and as high as 170. But that 170 mark is only one small blip. For the most part, it looks more like 140 to around 165. And that's over the last year. I've kind of kept it in that range, but I've never pushed it back up to 220, 230. And if we even look at my overall journey from November 6, 2023, to now, September 9, almost 2 years in, right? Over a month or over a year and 10 months. Look at the very huge dip at the very beginning. That is when I was giving it my all. That was very all or nothing Jerome at that time, right? I mean, there was no part of that graph at the very beginning where it even pushed itself up. It was a literal straight dip down. But you'll see the ups and downs since then. Vacations, back-to-back eating days, stressful days, days where I felt burnt out. The difference here is in the last 674 days, there has been no part of me that wanted to not show up. I mean, yeah, of course, right? Some live streams I didn't. There were struggling days, but for me, I told myself I cannot let this go. I can't let this go. I don't want to go back to where I was before. And I know many of you who are in here right now probably feel similarly. You probably want this to be the last time that you ever push up in weight like this. And I'm telling you right now, it's possible to get to your goals. But I do think the keys to this is to be honest with yourself, to practice imperfect consistency, to use all the weight loss levers to your availability. That is how you're going to figure this out. At least that's how I see it. So those are my stats for the day. Fit check. Fit check. Fit check is where I will stand back here despite this squeaky chair, and I'll show you what I look like. This chair is driving me nuts, I swear to God. I can't get a new chair because, again, I'm only here for a short period of time before I move. Fit check is where you'll see what I look like physically, but before I do fit check, I always like to share these images because to me, this gives you a better illustration or visual of what I look like or where I have been on my journey. I guess before I can continue on, Cap Rising became part of the Finally Fasting fam. Cap Rising, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I mean, I know you're here pretty regularly, so I appreciate you. I will talk about the Finally Fasting membership later, but Cap Rising, thank you so much for being part of the Finally Fasting fam. Cap Rising said just joined OMAD, which gives you, I'll put your name in the live streams. I just updated the names today, so I'll make sure to add your name on there. You also get to use custom emoji. I don't have my stickers on me, but if other people are in the chat, can we throw some F's up for Cap Rising? And then just FYI, if you were ever to join the other tier for the Finally Fasting membership, you'll get to do the Wednesday live streams, which I have tomorrow evening, or maybe tomorrow evening. I haven't figured that out yet. But Cap Rising, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Okay, so to go back, right? Fit check. I was like, where am I at? Fit check, right? For me, I show these photos because I have been somebody that has struggled with weight my entire life. As a child, right? Overweight as an adolescent, as a teenager, obese, morbidly obese, weighing at 235 at my heaviest. And obviously, right? 235 might not be a lot to some people, but for me at 5'3", 235 was way higher than it should have been in my 20s, in my 30s, and in my 40s. Wearing a size 38 waist. I know someone asked me recently what my waist size is today. It's size 28, but even that is too big. At this point, I have to wear boys' clothes to get things to fit right. So we'll do fit check. I am currently weighing in at, what was I this morning? 143. So I'm somewhere in the lowish 140s. That'll push up tomorrow because today's a refeed day. But even the shirts I'm wearing, like this one I'm wearing, when I put I haven't worn this in a while. This is a small. This is like a thin hoodie, but this is a small adult. And I feel like it's too baggy now. I feel like I can't really wear this. I might have to stop wearing it. So anyway, right size, this is a small, but you can tell it's already looks a little baggy on me. So front shot, side, rear, and then side. It's still not bad. I feel like I could still wear it. And see, you see here, this is like the extra. I do have, I have a boys shirt underneath here, but I also have a compression shirt underneath. These shorts, by the way, are extra small. These are even smaller than a 28, and like even this is loose. Like if I don't move these up, they start to sag and fall when I'm walking around. So so that's fit check, everyone. Oh, my microphone's a little weird. Okay. So at this time, I'll do Q&A. I know people were asking questions earlier, so maybe there are no other questions, but I'm happy to answer any as we kind of start rounding this up here. But if you do have questions, feel free to ask now. I'll answer what I can. In the meantime, while you might be asking questions, if you're looking for help when it comes to fasting or weight loss or accountability, if you're looking for an accountability partner or an accountability coach, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. We can have a conversation. I can help you get to your goals. I can help you be accountable. I just want you to remember that this isn't something that changes overnight. Like I said earlier, a lot of what I do is accountability, but it's also to start showing you how to change your habits. A lot of this is showing you that the accountability part, showing up, even on the bad days, that's the real important part here. Finallyfasting.com if you want to check that out. You can also check the site out for stickers and some other merch. So please feel free. But also, if you would like to be part of the Finally Fasting fam, if you want to support me in a different way, you can go to the link in this live stream. You can click on that link, or you can click the join button on my YouTube channel. You could be part of the Finally Fasting fam or be a member. You'll get your name on the intros. You can use custom emoji. And if you join the higher tier, you can join in on our Wednesday live streams where it's not just me talking. We'll have other people in the stream. We have a group coaching session. There's a different layer of accountability. So if you're looking for something like that too, if you're looking for an additional layer of help, please feel free to check that out. Okay. That is my shameless plug. And I think that's it. Hey, Raymundo. This isn't a question, but I'm just kind of looking through comments here. I just checked in at 29 inch to 30 inches at a height of 5'10". I think it depends on. Checked in at 29, 30? Are you talking about your waist size? That's a pretty good waist size, yeah, for 5'10". Julie says my brain is becoming Jerome washed after watching these dailies. Well, hopefully in a good way. It's not like I don't think I'm on here trying to promote unhealthy habits. So hopefully it's good and positive in that way. Okay. I don't think there are any questions. I feel like usually when people ask questions, they ask them during my lives, not towards the end here. I know it's kind of changed the format from what it used to be, but I think that's it. So I'll just give you an update on what the rest of this day looks like for me. Today is going to be a refeed day. And today is going to be a day I really try to buckle down on the calories. My last couple of refeeds have been 5, 6, 7,000 calories. And today I want to make sure I keep it under 3,000. So that is what I'm hoping I can do. Keep it under 3,000, keep my protein above 190. And that's really my only goal for today. You'll get to see what that looks like tomorrow as I film everything, because I always film everything because I try to stay transparent with that. So we'll see if I hit 3,000. Wish me luck. I really hope I do. I have it set. I have put a strategy of what I'm going to eat tonight, and hopefully I can keep it at 3,000. Maggie May and Aisha, they're both asking similar questions. What time will you be going live tomorrow? What time do you plan on live streaming tomorrow? I love when you all ask this, because to me, it means a lot, because I know you want to be on here and I know you want to, be supportive and also share your journey. Let me look at my calendar tomorrow. So tomorrow, I have a lot of meetings tomorrow, not just with coaching. I have meetings with other clients for my other social media work. So, okay, tomorrow is going to be a later live stream. Tomorrow, I will probably be live streaming at around 2 p.m. Central. Yeah? 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be a later afternoon. I can't do earlier because I have 3 meetings earlier in the day. So about 2 p.m. Central. Yeah? Okay. Hold on. I need to update something here since we're on here anyway. 1 second. Okay, that's updated now. I hate to. I mean, I'm happy for you, Miss Peaceful One, but I appreciate you sharing. I hope you enjoy your refeed. Thanks. FYI, I now have a part-time gig, so I'll most likely be missing our sessions or arriving late. Well, I know that you are doing what you have to do. Congrats on the part-time gig. Hopefully it isn't too much or too stressful that it interferes with your good, healthy habits. But I know you're always here in spirit. So whenever you're able to hop on here, I'll be happy to see you. So thank you always, Miss Peaceful One, for your support. It's always appreciated. Thank you so much. Babatunde. Hey, how's it going? Hi, Jerome. Can you help an African brother with his refeed strategy? Let me just share the best advice that I can give, at least the easiest way of doing it, or at least a good starting point, right? And it's what I do. If you're thinking about a refeed strategy, there are different ways to do this. People might tell you keto or carnivore or eating a certain way. And I think those are all good and well if you're able to do it and sustain it. But the way I do it is I like to call it the one ingredient. I don't want to say the word diet, but let's just call it the one ingredient strategy. Okay. The one ingredient strategy. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes people will be, when I say that, they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, one ingredient. A carrot is a carrot. A banana is a banana. Meat is meat. Brussels sprouts are Brussels sprouts. A donut is not just a donut. I mean, it is, but a donut is filled with a bunch of other ingredients, right? Pizza, a bunch of other ingredients. Now, I'm not saying that you can't take one ingredient foods and put them together, because it's obviously what I do. Take a look at what I eat, right? You'll see me eat broccoli and cauliflower, or shrimp and broccoli, or shrimp, broccoli, and garlic, or Brussels sprouts and meat, right? Usually how I start off, or rice, usually how I start off, and just like Miss Peaceful One says, whole foods, right? Fruits, vegetables, meat. That's what I start off with. Fruits, vegetables, meat. I'll add rice. Usually that's my carb of choice, but I eat that first. Those are the foods that are packed with nutrients. Those are foods that, for me, I also make sure my protein is prioritized. So you'll see me eat a lot of foods that are high in protein. I am trying to get to a protein target number, right? So I do that. And then afterwards, if you want something extra, if you want a snack, if you want something that is a little sugary, if you want something that is a little artificial, that's on you. You can have that. This is what I call imperfect consistency. Do you have to eat it? No, you don't have to. But if it's something that will help you mentally, I don't see anything wrong with that. Obviously, you still have to have control. It doesn't mean that after you eat all your one ingredient foods that now you're going to eat an entire package of Oreos or an entire pizza. I mean, you can if you want to, but you know what those results might look like afterwards. So hopefully that's helpful, Babatunde. Okay, that's it. We'll do this again tomorrow. I am assuming around 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, because I have a pretty busy day prior to that. And if any of you are part of the Finally Fasting fam, the autophagy tier, we will be doing a live stream tomorrow as well. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it at 7:30 p.m. Central. I will try to. It's just, it would be a really long day at the office for me here, because tomorrow my day is starting at around 9 in the morning and I have a lot of calls in between. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted after I finish my 2 p.m. live stream, and then we'll talk about what the autophagy live stream might look like. Okay. So with that being said, that's all I got. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for the support as always, Cap Rising. Thank you for being part of the Finally Fasting fam. I appreciate that support. With that being said, thank you to all my other Finally Fasting members as well. Thank you for supporting me in that way. It means a lot to me, but also thank you to everyone else here in chat. Thank you to the lurkers. Thank you for supporting. If this is helpful and this is motivating and inspiring for you, show up tomorrow. Show your accountability. I will continue to do so because I want to be that example to all of you of what imperfect consistency looks like. I'm not that perfect influencer. I think you all know that by now. I'm not here to show you perfection. I'm not here to show you just the bright side of things. I'm here to show you what somebody who has dealt with weight issues his whole life, with eating issues his whole life, with type 2 diabetes, right? I'm here to show you that you can do it too. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. All right, everyone. That's it for me. Thank you again for being here today. I'll see you all tomorrow. Here's my obligatory wave, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.